one of the most wanted fruits in 2024. Did you know most people are picking and cutting the fruit all wrong? Yup, and we're here to clear things up once and for all. But before we get to the good stuff, let's bust a few myths. Or that popping off the little nub at the top is the way to check if it's ripe? Yeah, those are the kinds of tips that lead to sad, mushy avocados. But don't worry, we're heading straight to the experts to learn how to choose, ripen, and cut avocados the right way. Welcome to the world of real avocado farming. Now, before we dive into the juicy details, let's take a quick trip back in time. Avocados didn't always rule the grocery store. Way back in ancient Mexico, avocados were called ahuacatl, which, fun fact, translates to testicle. Yeah, seriously. Makes you wonder why that name didn't stick, right? But the real gem is how this ancient fruit made its way to California. In the early 1900s, some smart farmers brought it over, and little by little, avocados started to carve out a spot on American plates. At first, people didn't really know what to do with them. They weren't sweet like apples or oranges, but they had this rich, creamy flavor that folks just couldn't resist. Over time, more and more people caught on, and now California's avocado industry is booming. Thank goodness we switched the name to avocado. It's a lot easier to say. Okay, so here's what sets avocados apart from every other fruit on the block. They're not sweet. That's right. You're not going to bite into an avocado expecting a sugar rush. Instead, it's the oil-based richness that gives them their signature flavor. You know that creamy, buttery texture you love in your guac? That's all thanks to the oils. And here's something else that might surprise you. Avocados stay rock hard until they're picked. They don't ripen on the tree. It's like Mother Nature's way of making sure they don't go bad before they get to your kitchen. There's actually a legal requirement for the oil content in avocados, especially in California. The state regulates that they have to reach a certain level of oil before they can be harvested. This ensures they're packed with flavor when they finally hit the shelves. No shortcuts here. So how do you know when to pick an avocado? Turns out it's a lot trickier than you'd think. Picture this. You're standing in a sea of green. Green fruit, green leaves, green everything. Spotting a ripe avocado isn't exactly easy, especially when they blend in with the surroundings. That's where the pros come in. Experienced workers can spot the subtle differences in the fruit's color and feel. They've got it down to a science. But let's be real, it's not as easy as it looks. When Nicole, one of our novice helpers, tried her hand at harvesting, it became pretty clear that it takes a trained eye and steady hand to do the job right. It's a lot more than just plucking fruit off a branch. Using specialized tools like long poles with attached clippers, the workers gently cut the avocados free from the tree without bruising them. They make it look effortless, but trust me, it's no easy feat, especially when you've got towering trees and dozens of fruits to manage. First off, let's debunk one of the biggest myths out there. Removing that little nub at the top of the fruit is not a good idea. In fact, it can let air into the avocado, which speeds up the browning process. Nobody wants that. So how do you know if it's ready to eat? Mimi's got you covered. Instead of poking and prodding at the fruit, she suggests gently pressing the avocado in your palm. What you're looking for is just a bit of give, but not too much. It should feel firm but not hard, almost like pressing into a cold stick of butter. That's when you know it's prime for slicing and dicing. Here's another pro tip from Mimi. Don't rush the ripening process. If you buy an avocado that's still firm, let it sit on the counter for a few days. Don't even think about throwing it in the fridge just yet. Avocados ripen best at room temperature, and popping them in the fridge too soon is a surefire way to slow things down. Think of it like olive oil. You wouldn't store that in the fridge, right? Same concept here. Let the avocado do its thing naturally. Once it's soft and ready, then you can store it in the fridge to slow down any further ripening if you're not ready to eat it just yet. Okay, here's something you probably didn't know. Most people are scooping their avocados all wrong. According to Mimi, the best way to get the most out of your avocado is by peeling it. That's right. Forget the spoon and start peeling. Why? Well, for starters, peeling helps you avoid those pesky brown spots that sometimes form near the skin. Plus, it retains more of the nutrients that are packed right under the surface. And bonus, it's super easy. Once you cut the avocado in half, the skin practically falls right off. You're left with nothing but that creamy, green goodness. Let's talk taste. If you've never eaten an avocado fresh off the peel, you're missing out. There's something magical about that first bite. The creamy, almost buttery texture combined with a bright, fresh flavor that's unlike any other fruit. Yes, that's right, a fruit. It's hard to believe when you're eating something that rich, but avocados are indeed a fruit, just like bananas or apples. When you eat it fresh, you really get to appreciate the smoothness and depth of the flavor. It's like nature's version of butter, but without all the guilt. And the best part? It's incredibly versatile. Whether you're whipping up guacamole or just slicing it over toast, you can't go wrong. Now let's take a moment to appreciate the beauty of the avocado farm itself. Imagine walking through rows and rows of mature trees, some of them so tall they create a canopy overhead. It's almost like stepping into a forest, but instead of pine trees or oaks, you're surrounded by avocado trees dripping with fruit. One of the coolest things about these farms is the way they cycle through the seasons. In March, for example, you'll see both mature fruit ready for picking and new blooms starting to form on the trees. It's a constant cycle of growth and renewal, and it's pretty mesmerizing to witness. All right, let's talk business. These days, 99% of what the farm grows is Hass avocados, and there's a good reason for that. The market demand for Hass is through the roof. People love them because they've got a thicker skin, which means they can handle being transported long distances without bruising. That's key when you're shipping avocados across the country, or even overseas. The thicker skin also makes them easier to handle and less prone to damage during harvesting. And when it comes to flavor, Hass avocados have a richer, creamier taste compared to some of the older varieties. It's no wonder they've become the industry standard. But by far the biggest challenge is water, or the lack of it. California has been hit by extended droughts, and water shortages are a serious problem for avocado farmers. Many farms have to drill wells just to keep their trees hydrated. Others are forced to make tough decisions, like stumping their trees to conserve water. Now, stumping is no easy decision. It's basically a last resort for farmers. When water is scarce, they'll cut their trees down to just a few feet tall to reduce the amount of water the trees need. It's a painful process because it means sacrificing years of growth and losing out on profits for several seasons. But sometimes it's the only way to keep the farm alive. It's a tough sight to see, rows of once lush trees reduced to nothing but stumps. But avocado trees are resilient. They can regrow from the stump, and with time and care, they'll eventually return to their former glory. And that's where the story comes full circle. Hope. Even after being stumped, avocado trees have an incredible ability to bounce back. It's a testament to their resilience, and in a way, it mirrors the resilience of the farmers who care for them. Despite all the challenges, there's always hope for regrowth. From the stumps, new branches will sprout, and within a few years, the trees will be back to producing fruit. It's a powerful reminder that even in tough times, with enough patience and determination, there's always a chance for new growth. So, whether you're enjoying that perfect slice of avocado on your toast or digging into a bowl of guac, remember the journey that little fruit took to get to your plate. It's a story of hard work, resilience, and hope, from the farm to your kitchen.